Hey, this is Anthony with RevZilla TV. We're going to watch Decide and Ride. Welcome to our detailed breakdown of the new REV'IT Borealis GTX glove, available at RevZilla.com. So you see the GTX looming, waterproof, breathable, guaranteed for life. This is a Gore-Tex glove, and it's going to come in over the $200 mark, part of the new 3-season cold weather collection from REV'IT. So fall, winter, spring, and Gore-Tex. But the beauty of this glove, compared to something like the Taurus GTX, that top of the food chain, still over the $200 mark, but this is using Gore Plus grip technology. So what they've done here is they've given you almost that Gore-Tex extra fit where they've bonded the Gore-Tex material to the inner lining so it doesn't move on you, and they've lightened up the PrimaLoft, which is still super insulative, but it's going to be a little bit lesser to a degree. And what that's done is it's warmed up this glove to work better with heated grips. So REV'IT knew they needed to do the Taurus for someone with non-heated grips for 3-season hardcore cold weather riding. And what they've done now with this Borealis is they said, let's lighten the weight, let's lighten the fill, give you the Gore-Tex, but allow you to work with heated grips and invest in some of the other technologies, save a little money while still giving you the ability to cover 3-season cold weather riding. Now, the baby brother of this glove would be something like the Cyber, and then you'd also have the Aquila H2O, which is non-Gore-Tex, but has that hard shell knuckle that we've seen. When you step up into that Taurus, that's going to have that hard shell knuckle too. Now, we look at it, mixture of leather, it's goat skin, and textile. That's where REV'IT's kind of headed in their newer gloves, a little bit more technical. And it is a slightly hard shell knuckle. It's almost the in-between. So you're going to have your SeeSoft protector, and then you have, for the first time from REV'IT, we're seeing this TPR lining, which creates a more rigid raise to it without being over the top and having that molded hard shell knuckle. Now, quick note on sizing. The fit's going to be better than something that's fully insulated, and that's because they're using that Gore Plus grip. Again, bonding everything. It's not going to move. When you instantly put your hand in this glove, you can feel that you're going to get more tactile response than something like the Cyber or something like the Taurus that have their fuller PrimaLoft and that full insulation where all the warmth has to come from your hand. Now, I'm wearing a size large. Fits in tune with the American cut from REV'IT. I'm a large in First Gear, I'm a large in Icon, I'm a large in REV'IT, I'm an XL in Dainese Air Alpine Stars, which I consider still to be more of a European cut. And some of the creature comforts on this glove really make this work better for the American market now. The fingers are a little bit wider, it has a light pre-curve to it. Again, no surprises here, where 5-8 years ago, REV'IT was a very narrow European cut. Not the case these days, so use the size chart by your size, you should be good to go. And remember, that Gore Plus grip technology allows them to add a lot of tech, waterproof, and insulation without making it feel bulky. This glove feels like it would be a fall spring glove, almost that mid-season, but because of the PrimaLoft, you're still getting insulation and you're adapting it so it will work better with the heated grips. Remember, we'll ship for free over $39, and I would love it if you click our logo, subscribe to us at RevZilla TV, leave me your comments, your questions, your feedback on the new Borealis GTX. Now, some of the other nuances here, you've heard me talk about them. 3M Scotchlite on the back of the hand, back of the cuff. Notice there's a full gauntlet here. That area is meant to be raised. Most guys have their hands down a little bit, especially on a multi-season bike or a multi-season touring bike in the upright position. It's going to help complement the humanoid form, allow people to spot a rider versus just a stop sign or something else reflective in the night by, again, extending the humanoid form with that reflectivity. Moving up, this is going to be what they would call your Power Oxford. This is a material that's a heavy-duty denier, comes from some of the more technical textiles. But when you get into the back of the hand, now your Power Shield stretch. A little bit of lightweight ripstop stretch material that allows it to move with you, and that gives you the ability to not have to add an accordion stretch panel. Now, we already talked about this semi-hard shell knuckle, adding that protection and that comfort, and then notice their TPUs that are baked in mid-digitally across the fingers. So again, they're raising the protection scheme. Is it as protective as the Taurus GTX? No, it's not. Is it a big step up compared to a lot of the other gloves in the REV'IT range or anyone else's range for that matter? Absolutely. Multi-season touring, stretching it lightweight into the adventure set depending on what you want, if you want that full hard shell knuckle. Now we move into the fingers. You're going to notice the diamond pattern. Goat skin. It's goat diamond. They use goat skin throughout this glove wherever you see leather. That's because goat has great tactile feedback. It's as strong as cowhide, and it actually gives you better resistance to wet weather riding conditions over time than you'd see from cow. And notice that's throughout. REV'IT logo is going to be reflective. Now if we move into our finger on the crook of our hand here, this area is going to be a snout patch / visor wiper. Currently, they designed it at the base of the thumb. We worked with them. We heard some feedback. They listened. They said final production versions are going to move this snout patch up the inside of the finger and onto the thumb. So kudos, REV'IT. You guys are listening, and this glove will actually be even better when it finally hits the street. Notice temper foam on the outside of the thumb, and if we move our way in here, now you're getting some of these other beefy protection points. Upgraded, dual reinforced goat skin, at the control patch, up the inside of the thumb, and at the fingers. One of my gripes on this glove, they didn't do a touch finger. It's not that connect finger to work with iPhone or Android devices. You get it on the Taurus, you get it on the Cyber, but you don't get it on the Borealis, and I'm not sure why. REV'IT, if you're listening, throw it in at the last minute. People like to be able to use these with their iPhone devices. Now, if we look, it's that goat diamond, which is a pattern that adds a little bit more grip to it as well, and your goat skin throughout. Working down, REV'IT's done a lot of listening and a lot of work on their outseam protection. They've been getting this right for years. Fully encapsulated seam, goat skin up the outside, and you have your dual compound slider. Honeycomb, it will slide, it will absorb shock, and it's seated on top of a SeeSoft panel, which is almost a dense memory style foam to spread out shock and absorb energy upon impact. I've crashed in gloves that have had this dual comp slider. It was actually the Phantom GTX, crashed in Alaska 80 miles an hour, went down on my hands. They did a phenomenal job. I'm a fan of this slider. Now, if we move into the cuff, it is the new school REV'IT style cuff. We're seeing this season on the higher end gloves for the first time. It's going to be polarizing. I really dig it. I'm calling it the Ron Popeil of cuffs. Set it and forget it. So what that is you open it up. Ron Popeil, I love you. You've inspired me. Do not send me a cease and desist. And what you have here is a cuff that to get it off, you're going to pull it this way. Now, if you're pulling it on, you pull the cuff this way, it cinches it down, and then you loop it back. So even if my other hand is fully gloved, I have the ability to cinch this down over my jacket. Let me show you that again. So you open it up by pulling the pull tab, and the final version is going to be a little bit easier to use. We gave them feedback that they needed to tweak this a little bit, but you cinch it like that, you pull it out, and you pull it in, and you're good to go. Remember, that Taurus GTX has the double cuff, which is the gator with the outer cuff. First time we've seen that from REV'IT, so if you want to go even more hardcore, you can go up to that. But again, this is going to be more of your, call it 3-season cold weather with insulation, geared for heated grips. And they are still using PrimaLoft. We talked about it a couple times. So instead of Thermalite or Thinsulate, they're using PrimaLoft Eco Gold with grip, tying into the grip panel here, and PrimaLoft Gold on the back of the hand. PrimaLoft is thinner, lighter weight, but dramatically warmer than some of the Thinsulates or other Dex fills we see on the market. Again, big upgrade in technology. So remember, from here you go into the Taurus. You could step back into something like the Cyber from the Borealis, or you could step into something like the Aquila if you want the hard shell protection but come in under the $200 mark. But you're looking at a hardcore multi-season adventure-oriented glove geared for heated grips here in the Borealis GTX. The next step in your journey is to click the info button. Visit the product page at RevZilla.com. Read other rider reviews in the Borealis GTX. You don't have to take my word for it, but use my information as a starting point. As always, we'll ship for free over 39 bucks. If you want to talk to a gear geek, see us at RevZilla.com or 877-792-9455. Thanks for watching our detailed breakdown. Remember, I'm not doing this for my health. Subscribe to us on the YouTubes. Be part of our large, stable, and growing community of gear freaks and geeks. I'm Anthony. We'll see you next time.